Hey, everybody, welcome to Spill the Novelty, where three girlies shout into the void about our latest book hot takes and obsessions. I'm Abby,
I'm Maddie.
And I'm Kaylee.
and this week we're going to be ranking our favorite book boys and gushing about why we love them so much.
All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to name our top 5 book boys starting with 5th place. So in 5th place for me, I put Will from the Infernal Devices because even though I read this book back when I was in like 8th or ninth grade, Will still lives in my heart. He's like
Your first love.
yeah, he's a 17-year-old bad boy. He's got black hair and blue eyes, typical for like the romance book. Um and yeah, he's just your typical bad boy, and I loved him a lot. And I still think about him sometimes. So
I love that. Does he stay a bad boy the whole time? I haven't read that series, so I'm curious.
I kind of, sort of.
A happy half. Okay.
But they don't get together until sorry, spoiler for that series. They don't get together until like I think like the end of the second book or something. So it's like
Okay. It's a good little slow burn.
It's
it
a
has a
good
love
slow
triangle.
burn.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's why I was saying in our last episode, I think their love triangle is the best love triangle that I've ever read. So I would recommend that series. If you haven't read it.
Ooh.
Love it.
So yeah.
Cute.
Love it.
All right. So at number 5, I have none other than Xaden Ryerson. Our king wing leader. We love Xaden. Of course, we've done a couple episodes on Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. But yeah, the reason why he's at number 5 for me is that I just want to keep seeing more, and it won't spoil. I'm excited to see like where his character goes when the next book drops, whenever it does. And I think that he could actually move up that ladder for me too. But right now I have him at number 5. He is of course the shadows, the fighting, the letters, and Iron Flame. Like he has this great balance of both kind of like strong and intimidating character with all his secrets and backstories and all that kind of good stuff, but also is sweet and very much a will do anything for Violet specifically. So he's definitely on my list 100%. I think he might even climb the ranks, but he's my 5th currently.
Yeah, he's also my 5th.
Number.
Oh,
I was gonna say he took my number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah,
up there. Okay.
I love Xaden. Like I, especially in just Fourth Wing. Like I don't know. I love Xaden. I think he's a good bad boy. I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
I think fair. I have similar reasons for putting him at number 5. I don't know his full arc yet. So the man has to earn his spot higher up. The fact that he's at 5th already, I mean, it says a lot for him. I really love him. But yeah, I do really want to see him kind of recenter his world. I don't need it to be completely centered on Violet. I need him to be more dynamic of a character. So I very cautiously put him at number 5, because if he does not retain other priorities, he's gonna fall off my list. And there's a teaser for someone else I'm gonna mention later, because that happened to them, when otherwise they would have been very, very high on my list. So that's why Xaden's number 5. I anticipate and hope that he will climb, but he must earn his spot.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we love him though.
All right. Number 4 for me is Rhysand from ACOTAR. Okay, and that's just number 4, so it's not that great, not that high on the list. I love him in like the early books, but then I think he drops way down in my list like later in the series. Just because he becomes so like kind of controlling of Feyre when she's spoiler when she's pregnant. So
he's at number 3 on my list, so close to the 4th spot. I'm gonna forget. Mist and Fury is the second one, right? Of course, A Court of Mist and Fury. I love him in book 2. I ate up everything Rhys related. And I also will say something I love from Miss Sarah J. Maas is if you ever seen pictures or heard stories about her husband, it seems that, or I think she said that like Reese is kind of based off of like her husband a little bit, which I think is very
Yeah.
Yeah.
cute. So I love that for her. What a win. You go, queen. That's awesome. But yeah, I love him. But I would agree. I'm not as interested in him by the end of the series for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say Reese did not make my list at all. He's not on my top 5.
Ooh,
I
damn.
loved the second book. I did not like the third book. I was out.
Yeah.
I was out. He got so boring and like so bland.
Yeah.
And just let Feyre do whatever she wanted. And I didn't read the fourth and fifth books. It sounds
Yeah.
like he completely changes as well, which I just think is weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
he lost his bad boyness for me. So I actually put him as an honorable mention because I did love originally his character. In book
Yes.
1, I ate him up. I was reading it along with my friend who knew like what was going to happen in ACOTAR, and so she was the classic thing of like watching me go through the 7 stages of Tamlin and being like
Yes.
not
Yes.
being able to say anything. But as soon as we like run into Reese in that book, I was like, I don't know who this like shady character is, but he's like way more interesting than Tam. Like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
understand. And she was like, I knew you would do that. Yep, So like
The
from
scene
day
where-
one.
Where he first shows up,
Yeah.
at whatever the festival is that they're at, like you know, like,
You know.
I
He's
mean,
way more
just
interesting.
already, like the intrigue around him is far
Yeah.
more fascinating than anything that's happened with Hamlin at that point.
Yeah. And then by book 3, just for me, he lost all of his cool spice. He turns into like a puppy dog, and so for that reason, he fell off my list. He fell off.
And there's
Fair enough.
certain aspects, anytime you have a character who's like the bad boy, you know, I want them to have a degree of puppy dog. I want them to
Yes.
have that soft side, right? Like the love for Valaris, I think, is great. Like his determination to protect Valaris. I mean, his love for the Bat Boys, as they're known, Cassian and Asriel, you know, his love for Moore and like the whole found family is really special. But yeah, then he just, it gets to the point where, particularly when it comes to Feyre, just
Yeah. He really just
will do
became
anything, yeah.
a passive character in her story.
Yes.
And I know
Yes.
that like realistically, like that's what we're reading, right? Like she's the main character, it's her story. But for me, I need that to be more of a push and pull dynamic, and that's exactly why I have Xaden where he is. It's the same thing. I'm like, don't Reese me again. Please don't Reese me.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
I agree. I love him, but also.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, number 4 on my list, I did not do this intentionally. You won't believe me, but I put 4 from Divergent, throwing it back to the YA days. I was a big fan of 4, and I mean, yeah, again at face value, he's got everything you want in a book boy. I mean, he's gorgeous. He is a bad boy. He is very talented. He has all these secrets. He you know, has this, I do love you know, to compare with Reese for a second, like where Reese gets to the point where he'll do anything for Feyre, and like to the point of being like super soft. Like 4 does not go easy on Triss at any point. Like 4 always pushes Triss, and so I like that dynamic a lot. And yeah, he's just a classic one. He lives in my head rent free, so I have to throw him in there.
That's a good one.
That is a
He's
good
also
one.
a man. Like for YA,
Yeah.
he's a man, you know?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So that's the thing too, is like I'm, you know, reflecting on YA, but in my head, like I always, and this is something too, I think since so many of the YAs have by nature like have these older actors and stuff too, like in my head, even though I know it's a younger audience, I see them as more like adult, you know. But yeah, so
Yeah.
Yep,
That's true.
that's who's at number 4 for 4.
I literally thought you just didn't write a name down. Like I thought you were still thinking about who your number 4 would be. It didn't. I forgot completely about 4's like existence.
I literally had to look up earlier because I forgot his actual name. So Tobias Eaton.
Tobias. There it is.
Tobias Eaton. Yeah. I do hate that his name is Tobias.
The least bad boy name that you could possibly give a character.
But didn't he? Am I tripping? Am I remembering incorrectly that he like transferred from abnegation. Wasn't he an abnegation boy too? Am I wrong?
Oh
Do we
man, I
remember?
don't know.
I have
I'm
no
reaching
idea.
into
Okay.
like my middle
I
school
I think
vault.
you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that that's part of it too, is like,
Yeah.
it's like the same with anyone who has like an appreciation for like the scribes and stuff
Mm-hmm.
in Fourth Wing. Like, but then I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a good 4.
Four.
My number 4 is Gray from the Cursebreaker series, which is it's like A Curse So Dark and Lonely is the first book that you might have heard of. Gray is actually, he's not the main love interest. He's the guard. He's the guard of the main love interest, which if you watched our Tropes podcast, you'll know that I brought that up for a specific reason. But in the second book, he basically gets highlighted and he gets his like love story and whatever, and it's very, very good. So much better than the first book. And asterisk, I literally DNF'd the series because in the third book it goes back to the original 2 love interests, and I fucking can't stand them, so I DNF'd. But
Nope.
Gray is so cute. He is so like stable, reliable, strong, like thoughtful, but he has this like ruthlessness because he's in the guard. So he's like, I'll fucking kill him if you want me to. And I just like that dynamic of like, he's soft with the people he cares about, but then he's still is like, I'm gonna get it done. You want me to kill somebody? I'm gonna do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that
I like
vibe.
that. Maybe I'll put that on my TBR.
Yeah. I would be fascinated to hear what you think about this series, because it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I am so sick of them. I would rather die than read another one because they're so poorly written. Respectfully, I could do a whole nother pod episode on it, but I would be fascinated to talk about it with y'all and hear what y'all think. So
okay,
but yeah, that's my number 4.
Nice.
All right, number 3 for me, it's Warwick from Savage Lands, which I know you guys haven't read, but at least the first like 2 books of the series I absolutely love. The rest of them we can just ignore. But he is based on Jason Momoa, so that's who Stacey Marie Brown.
I'm suddenly elevating Savage Lands on my TBR.
Yeah,
he's not your typical. He's not your typical like skinny, like black hair, blue eyed bad boy.
Sickly.
He's like, yeah, like they're all kind of just like, yeah, they're thin and muscly at the same time. But this guy Warwick, he's like huge and big, and I don't know, he's manly, and I really like Warwick. Like he's super grumpy and mean throughout the whole series to literally everyone but Brexley, who's the main gal. So yeah, just love him.
That is interesting. It didn't occur to me that the fantasy girl gaze is sickly, thin, angry bad boy. But it's true.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, if I didn't include this person on this list because I can't say that I actually felt this strongly in the book, but someone who was going to make my list, because having a chokehold in like middle school, was Thorin Oakenshield from like the Hobbit movies, from the Hobbit.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I love that man. But I could not include it on my list because I was like, it's been a while since I read The Hobbit, and I don't know that I can say that for the books. I just loved him. So I'm not gonna give it.
I would have been shook. Yeah, I don't know this.
Dude,
Thorin
he could sing.
Interesting.
Oh,
him up from the movie. Interesting.
Okay. It's
Trust.
giving like essence of Jason Momoa though. Like I can see the through line here. Yeah.
Yes. No. So I was obsessed.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
All right. So let's see. My third place was Reese. We already talked about that. You know how I feel.
Let him rest.
Yeah.
So my number 3 is Cardan from the Cruel Prince series. I love Cardan. I just, book 1, I really did not like the man. You're not supposed to. He's literally a bad person. But by the end of book 3, I would die for him. Like, sweet angel man. I just love him, and I love him with Jude specifically because Jude is really like the bad boy in the relationship.
She is.
And I love that dynamic where it's like it kind of turns the like bad boy soft girl pairing on its head, and it's like, no, actually the boy is like the weak one or like whatever. And so I love him. I ate him up.
Love it.
I originally had him as an honorable mention, but then I kept thinking about it and I was like, I can't really remember, other than him being like really evil in the first book, I can't really remember anything about his backstory or like personality that was like remarkable to me and when they become like love interests. So I took him off my list, but
that's fair.
Yeah.
He was neglected by his mother. It was sad.
Yeah. That is sad.
She only praised him when he did mean things, so that's why he became so evil, because it was the only way that he got like positive reinforcement or whatever.
Yeah. That's I can see why.
His behavior in book 1 is still not excusable, but there was reasoning. Anyways, it's fine.
Fair enough. All right. So next is number 2. So number 2, I changed mine live. Okay, I changed mine a minute ago.
Ooh,
I saw that. I saw you typing.
I changed it because I remembered Shatter Me. Aaron from the Shatter Me series, like he also lives rent free in my brain. Like he is completely evil in like the first book, or you think he's like this evil ruler, and then you find out he's really not that evil, and he's also a man. He's a man.
He's a man.
He's a man. Yeah. I hate that I don't remember the details, because I did read. So I actually did a reread of Shatter Me, just the first book back, like I think back in the spring, and it was like I could feel the memory. See, I need to just reread it then too, because that's the wonderful thing about like revisiting old YAs, like when we were at our peak, is like I know there's something good there. I don't remember the details. It's been too long ago. Yeah. I remember that I was obsessed with him, though. I don't remember the details, but I remember he used to hold a space in my head for sure. I thought about him all the time. So
yeah,
I haven't read this. Now I want to.
It's good. This
is building out my TBR.
Yeah, same. I haven't read the series in full in years, but he was there. Same for I don't remember the guy from Red Queen, because I also read that forever ago.
Yeah, but I was trying to think of the guy from Red Queen too.
I loved him too. Is it like Maven? Am I tripping?
I thought that was like the female character.
Oh, yeah. I don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. There was a guy. There was a good. Yeah, no, I think you're right. Actually, just kidding. I don't remember what her name was, but it was something like that. Whatever.
That
was also
that was a good one. Yeah. Female leading characters, and then that'll be really some hot takes.
I can like see it in the distance. All the YA stuff. I'm like, yes, those were the days. Those were the days. I just can't remember the details. Yeah, he was great. Speaking of back in the day, I have one that probably
as shocking as your mention of The Hobbit, honestly.
Yeah, honest to God. Thorn, please, if you're a Thorn girl, let us know. I know I'm not alone. I so am not alone. If you, particularly when the Hobbit movies came out, all 3 of them, when they should have been just 1, maybe 2, let me know if you had a chokehold on me, because you definitely did on me. So nostalgic ones. Growing up, of course, I read Harry Potter like everyone else, and I loved Harry. So he goes at number 2.
Unhinged behavior.
Cannot relate one bit.
No, but see, I thought I was going to be ridiculous for having this on this list, but I was looking up book boyfriends last night to remind myself, because I should say, if anyone makes it on this list of 5, then they're in a good spot. Being number 5 is not a bad thing, because like to even make the cut is impressive, because we have a pretty big library of book boys to pull from, right? But anyway, I saw some other people had him on their list, so I didn't feel too ridiculous. But anyway, I'm gonna say it with my chest regardless. Harry, particularly in the books, like growing up, like I love that book. Harry was always he's very snarky. He's like obviously smart. He is the chosen one. But I think growing up too, I yeah, loved sorry, my cat is meowing in the background. Yeah, I loved his character arc, but I loved his sass, and he's smart, and he's one of the ones that like follows the rules kind of, but also breaks rules all the time and gets away with it. In part 'cause he's chosen one, in part because he's sneaky. But yeah, Harry Potter,
He's
baby. Number
he's
2.
fascinating. I think like I just don't think about. I mean, I liked Ron Weasley growing up because of course I did,
Mhm.
but
Of course.
the books to me they don't read very romantic, and maybe it's just
No,
it's
for
so
sure.
long, but like I really don't think of any of them as like that. I don't know, like it just wasn't
That's
given,
fair.
and like it's
And
fine
I
because
should
I don't think that was
also
her goal,
say
but
no, no, no. And I should also say, like, I'm talking kind of like book, like maybe
yeah,
5 onward. And again,
yeah,
rehashing that this is a crush as I was
like
growing up,
enter
right? Like as I
Ginny.
was yeah, enter Jenny. Yes, exactly. So as I was growing up, yeah, the emphasis was definitely not on the romance. It's just that
Yeah,
I personally like he would be my type. Like I was very into
yeah,
Harry, loved Harry.
makes
So,
sense.
and also was a big Harry Hermione shipper.
Yes,
Always will be. I will. That is my truth. Like when they threw that little scene in Deathly Hallows Part One, the movie, the little dancing scene. Ooh,
yes. I
that
yeah.
said everything I ever needed. But
I
yeah,
as a Ron stan, there's no reason that Hermione would choose Ron
right.
over
I
Harry.
love Ron.
And in the beginning books especially, I just feel like they're so well positioned because like Hermione and Harry balance each other out so well. Like
Mhm.
I just Ron was there, okay? And like
Yeah,
I'm happy that he got Hermione, I guess, but like it just didn't.
I love
I'm
Ron, but
with
that
you.
didn't need to happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Put him with Luna. I don't know, or
Anyone
just don't
else.
put him with anyone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put him with Neville.
Anyway,
Do something fun.
you know
Fuck
what?
it up.
That kind of eats. There's
It
got to
kind of
be
eats.
some. There's okay. There's got to
We'll
be some
write a
fanfic
fix
on
it
this
fic.
one. Yeah, there's got to be some fic on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Hermione Draco. Sorry, this episode is off the rails now, but I was also kind of here for the Hermione Draco fix it fix. I won't lie.
You know what?
I would
And
be
the thing
here for
is,
that.
Yeah.
and I, honest to God, hated that shipping for a long time. That ship for a long time. But you know what? The people who wrote the fix did it justice. Like, or oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
Draco Talk back in 2020.
Unhinged.
I was like, y'all, I never liked Draco, but
No,
the
me either.
edits were giving. Like
They were
they
giving.
were giving. I was like, okay, fine. I'll lean
Mm-hmm.
into it. But okay.
Incredible.
Anyway, number 2, Harry Potter. You heard it here
Anyways.
first.
Yep. First and last.
First and last. Oh
Okay.
God.
My number 2 is Kaz Brecker from the Six of Crows series. This man, he lives in my head rent free on like the regular basis, and like he's completely unhinged. So it's completely mental illness coded that he does remain in my head rent free because he's like the shit that he does is absolutely insane. If for you guys, since you haven't read the books, I would say like the closest comparison personality wise is maybe like a house MD kind of a character where like he's really really smart but he is not very moral and he does really
Mm-hmm.
clever things, but like he's generally unhinged and kind of like treats people as like pawns in a way. Like
Sounds
he's
hot.
playing a big chess game. It's so hot and it's so good.
Love that.
And his
Sign me
backstory
up.
is heartbreaking. It's so good. And his like slow burn romance with Inej, like I can't. I'm unhinged for Kaz.
That sounds great to me. Ticked off about
That
every
does
box
sound
that
good.
made him
It's so
sound
good.
hot.
It's so
So
good.
yeah.
And also, as a side note, because we're talking about fantasy boys and they usually have ridiculous names, Kaz Brecker, ridiculous name, but it's so good. It
Hey,
sounds
that's ridiculous.
so good.
That was
It's easy to read though, which I like.
Yeah.
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 As soon as you said Kaz Brecker, I was like, that
Kaz Brecker.
it's
Yeah.
so dumb, but it's also at least it's easy to say
It
compared to
eats.
some of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my number
Yeah.
2.
Okay. Noted. Another reason to read the books. I'm in.
Please, God.
But
All right, and then number 1 I already went over. That's Zayden for me.
King.
Already
King.
covered
Love
it.
to
Love
see it.
him.
Love him.
He's climbing up the ranks for us. He
Mhm.
could move up there.
Yeah.
He could get up there. So my number one is Peta Malark. Again, not a I'm sorry.
Number one.
Apparently I have not grown the
It's
fuck up.
number one, Abby.
Yes. And he's not my normal, like that would not be my expected. I love Peta.
Little pita bread.
Peta,
no, I love it for you.
Peta is smart as hell. Peta, okay.
The opposite of a bad boy.
Yes, which is why I'm saying like he is not normally my number one. Like everything about him is textbook opposite of what I would put. But
Peta
like
is bread. Peta is just bread.
He is bread. And I said I was a Peta girl. Full transparency.
Peta,
I shipped Peta hard.
I was not a Peta girl. I did not care about Peta.
If it weren't for the baby, Peta Malark.
Yes.
Peta,
okay, he ate with that.
Peta was serving. Okay.
He was serving.
Peta ate up the games, and Peta doesn't get the credit because he's not like sassy Katniss.
Yeah.
Katniss would not have been able to do a lot of the shit without Peta's brains. Like Peta was the brains behind the Hunger Games.
Also,
winning the Hunger Games.
I had growing up an insane crush on Josh Hutcherson. So when he got cast as Peta, I was like, I must have died and gone to heaven because like this is incredible. I was so into Josh Hutcherson. It was
that's
unhinged.
The thing is I can't divorce the Josh Hutcherson from the Peta in my brain because I'm the same way. And like even with all the oh my god, my For You page has been full of like Josh Hutcherson because of all this the Ballad of Songbird and Snakes resurgence, so all the Hunger Games resurgence, all the early 2010s resurgence, the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. Like I have been getting a ton of I have had all the FNAF on my For You page because
that's why your list is such a throwback, because that's just what your TikTok is.
I will say, to be fair, I did not play FNAF, but I got really into all the lore recently. So I will say it's a mix of the lore and also I like know the entire story, and I've never played this game in my life because I'm a chicken. But anyway, because of that, and then also because of Josh Hutcherson. So he just fills my head rent free. But also like the whole thing with him having to like fall in love with Katniss. I don't know.
That's fair. Listen, I support you. I support your Peta love. It's just so funny.
Kaylee's eyes just said.
Kaylee's book is so bad boy. Or Kaylee's list is so bad boy, and then you hit us with Peta.
I don't like
Peta and Harry
and Harry Potter. It's so
you know what? It's okay.
It's okay.
You gotta do it. Okay. Anyway,
kind of continuing on the same note, though, my number one is also not a bad boy, really. It's Kel from A Darker Shade of Magic series, which I know you guys haven't read. So let me do my best to explain this man. He is exasperated. He is anxious and he is stressed throughout the entire series. And it is so endearing and I just love him. He is so like, the people that he has to work with throughout the series to get things done are completely unhinged, including like his love interest. And he is just like, can we please just chill? And I don't know, it doesn't sound like it would be good, but he just lives in my head. And the only reason he's number one and Kaz number two is because like Kel is actually someone that I would like date IRL. Like he's actually aligned.
Listen, if exasperated and anxious, like if you're in love with me, you can just say it. Like honestly,
I'm saying it is so good, and like he's so powerful and clever and smart and like these things, and it just I don't know, man. He's an actual boyfriend package because there are a lot of people on this list that I would not date, like me personally. Like I would not date Cardin, okay, but like I love him. I would marry Kel.
With Peta is like, I'm a sucker for a Pisces man.
Yeah.
There's no way he's not a Pisces man. That's a Pisces man. I can talk all day long about a man who's an Aries or a Scorpio and how hot they are. Let's be fucking for real. You know me. I'm with a Pisces man. I stick by my Pisces man.
Right.
Okay? That's what Peter Malark is. No one can tell me differently. That's my man. Okay?
I'm going to stand by him.
I'm going to stand by him. I'm going to stand by him. That's my man.
Yeah, I love it. Sorry, Kaylee. We ruined your cool visage of bad boys.
Well, but I relate that in real life, would I date any of them? No, definitely not. But in books. All right, my honorable mention. We're also doing our honorable mentions and guys that we don't get it. We don't get the hype. So my honorable mention is Rain from Serpent and the Wings of the Night. Because I love Rain. Like I know you guys thought he was kind of meh at some parts, but like I love his backstory, and like I like that he's genuinely morally gray, as I talked about in our episode. So yeah, big fan.
Yeah, this is a great honorable mention. Honestly, I saw it and I was like, damn, I should have put that, because I really like Rain in book 2. I, like you said, I like his depth and his lore and kind of like where he's come from, and that he's not, I mean, he is obsessed with like the main girl whose name I can't remember.
Araya.
Oh yeah,
Araya,
of course.
Araya, yeah,
of course. He is like into her, but he also has other priorities and other things cooking, you know, and I just like that.
Yeah,
he's just dynamic.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, for my honorable mention, I have the himbo himself, Cassian. I mean, he's hot. He's hot, and he is funny, and he is a, like, you know, will do anything for Nesta type. But he's also just he has big personality, at least in the later. I mean, we get to know him a lot more in Court of Silver Flames. Yeah, he's my himbo honorable mention. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for Cassian.
So, fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. I don't remember a lot about Cassian or Az, honestly.
Yeah, and that's fair too, because like I think that there's a bigger spotlight, particularly on Cassian, of course, in Court of Silver Flame, since it's Nesta's book.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
yeah, I love Cassian. I think he's great. He's a himbo. He's
totally a himbo. He's such a himbo. You know what? I love it. I eat it up. I love it.
Yeah.
My honorable mention, we already talked about a bit. It was Rhys, the rise and fall, you know, but he still made my honorable mentions. I still think of him positively. I think of what he could have been. Okay. I think of his potential.
Yeah.
Think of how he made me feel when I first saw him in book 1. Okay. All the hope and the light that I saw after the light and the darkness that was Tam. Okay. I think of that. And so he earns honorable mention for me.
Tam, I'm proud to say Tam never did it for me. I get to claim that.
Yeah, I don't get Tam. I mean, I kind like by the end of the book I was like, he's all right, I guess. Like, sure, if this is what we're doing, but like there were so many things I thought were weird. Like the whole I think about this once a week because I'm just like, what the fuck was this? The whole ceremony where he like becomes unhinged and like sleeps with everyone or someone or whatever. That was such a weird plot line, and it comes back to me every week because I'm like, were we supposed to be into that? Like, was that supposed, because I don't like that. I thought that was weird.
It was
weird.
I
agree. That was weird. I don't really know.
I don't know. It just was like one thing that was super weird, and I was like, I would never want, like, that would never be my love interest. Like, you gotta do that all the time? Gross.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I agree.
Agreed.
All right. That brings us to the I didn't get it. Right? Did we all do our honorable mention? Yeah, we did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the I didn't get it hot take. So I have 2. My first one is a major hot take. I know I would get like hate for this.
Yeah.
Is Hunt Atlahar. I think that's how you say it. From Crescent City.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Hunt Athalar? Is that it?
Athalar. Okay. Maybe that's it.
I don't know. Hunt. Yeah.
But Hunt. I think he's so boring. Like, he's such a good guy. He's so, and all of my guys were bad boys for a reason. He's a good guy. He's just boring. Like, I don't remember any special dialogue, anything that made him unique from other guys in other books. Like, I can't think of anything special about him.
But here's the thing too, is not only is he like a good guy, but he's not meant to be a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's set up to be a bad boy, but he doesn't deliver.
He is too.
So he's a good guy because he doesn't deliver on being a bad boy, which is even worse than being a straight up good guy. Like, it's an identity crisis. Like, is he supposed to be a bad boy, or is he a nice little golden retriever? I don't know.
He comes off very golden retriever. That's true.
Yeah, but very flat. He's a very flat character, especially for Bryce to be such a baddie. Like, I need someone
Yeah,
to. Bryce is a baddie, okay? I
he
need
is.
someone who can handle that, who can step up to that, and I don't feel like Hunt can.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. I don't know. I don't.
No,
Yeah,
I
maybe,
agree. I agree. Maybe in the next book we'll see
maybe,
him differently.
perhaps. Yeah.
My second hot take that I didn't get is Castile from Blood and Ash. Okay, I added him because he's just horrible. Like he's so manipulative, and I don't get why people love him. I don't get why people love that book. It's just not my cup of
Tea,
tea.
tea.
But he was manipulative. Like he was not. He wasn't just not a good guy. He was like genuinely like a terrible person, and I
Ooh,
don't get why people like him. So yeah,
ew.
that's my hot
Interesting.
take.
I still have that on my to read list just because I need to know. Like, I need to know why it sucks
Yeah.
because I know you don't like the book.
I had it on
Yeah.
my TBR, and then Kaylee read it, and she was like, "Don't," and I was like, "Yes, ma'am, remove."
Yes, but to be fair, I guess there are also many books that you both have read that you like a lot, so I should prioritize those first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my I don't get it hot take is also a big hot take. When I was looking up books to remind myself of all the book boys, this name came up like twice at number 1, which is ridiculous.
Really?
Number one.
I it's Asriel. Like, guys, please.
Is it just
Yeah.
because of the dark and moody? Is that all? Ladies, look at me. Is that all we're asking? Is that what the bar is at? Guys, please.
Well, and my thing is like I think it's because he's like kind of he's kind of shy, and there's like a lot of these theories that like he's actually the most like the I won't be specific, but like the hottest overall, and that we're gonna figure that out in Elaine's book. And like I don't fucking know, maybe I don't get the appeal. Like I mean, he's hot, like very basic hot, but like the personality
Yeah.
is lacking for me, and I can do like a more quiet, chill, shy vibe. There's not that's
Yeah.
there's
Okay,
nothing
Harry
wrong
Potter.
with that. Okay, Harry Potter.
Clearly.
Harry Potter is sassy though. Okay, which I guess
Yeah.
Azrael can be sometimes, but I don't know. That I
Yeah.
don't get the Azrael hype. Maybe I will in the next book.
I
Probably
don't get
not.
it either.
Yeah.
He is definitely the bottom of the list of
I get
the
why people
best boys.
like him, but I don't get why
Yeah,
people love him.
Yeah.
sure.
That's
Like
the
he's
difference.
a good character. He's a good like backup character.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
definitely not the
I
hottest.
disclaimer, I haven't read past the third book of Akatar, so I don't have some of the
Yeah,
extra context that you guys do, but like I remember specifically liking Cass and not
yeah,
understanding as much. Like he felt, I say this all the time, but he felt like a out of the box, like prepackaged. You want like a
yes.
moody, dark bat boy? Here you go. Like that's Asriel. And so I just didn't, he wasn't giving, there need to be tidbits that show me that you're more interesting than like your surface level packaging. And he didn't have that. So I agree.
So
I never thought
maybe
about
I'll
him.
be proven wrong, but I don't know. I doubt it. So
Yeah.
that's mine. Yeah.
For my I don't get it hot takes, I actually have two as well, because I'm a hater. So my first one is Ren from the Curse Breaker series, which is the Curse So Dark and Lonely, whatever, that my number 4 gray was from. He's the primary love interest, and I do not understand why he is so annoying and like whiny, and like he doesn't do anything for himself. Like Gray has to do freaking everything for this man, and like honestly the female main character Harper is also fucking annoying, so they deserve each other, but their romance makes no sense. Like it's literally just like by the end of the book she's like, sure, okay, I feel kind of bad for you, and so that's like their romance, and I don't understand it, but people eat him up online, and I don't get it.
Huh.
Weird. Yeah.
It's weird. I don't like it. And then my second one is Ronan from the Raven Cycle. I don't know if y'all read the Raven Cycle. Okay.
Uh-uh.
So it was really hot, like back in the day, like in middle school, high school kind of times. Like the series, everyone was reading it. It was a whole thing. And the main love interest is like, he's like a nerdy, he likes read history, like he knows all these like facts, like he's just absolutely like a walking brain. Okay. And so he's not like spicy bad boy. One of his best friends, Ronan, is spicy bad boy. Okay. He's like the shadow character, whatever. And the entire second book in the series is about Ronan, and we basically leave our main female character and the main love interest and just completely talk about Ronan for the entire second book of the series. And it is just so insane because, and I feel this way about ACOTAR too, it's like you wrote your main love interest and then you were bored with him by the end of book 1, so now you're writing about this like secondary character that like is way more interesting, and you're trying to get us to like him, but like, why didn't we just start there, you know? But people loved it. I don't know. I hated that. I hated the whole second book. I don't get it. He was not even interesting. Like, he just was, again, out of the box. He probably was Asriel as a child, okay? Like, Ronan is Asriel. He grew up, became a bad boy, okay?
Yeah.
Not here for it.
Nah,
No.
yeah.
No.
Boo.
Boo.
Not fun.
Thumbs down. Okay. If everyone has said their piece on our favorite book boys, that's all the tea we have. So please read along with us for the upcoming episode. We're going to be reading One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. So we are very excited for that. You can stay up to date with the latest tea on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube by following us at Spill the Novel Tea on all the things. And while you're there, let us know who is your number one book boy and who doesn't get enough credit. Did we forget anybody? Have we forgotten? Did we forget why we used to love someone and so they didn't make it on our list? Please remind us. We can't wait to hear.
We surely did.
Yeah, surely.
At least
There's
one.
so many.
For sure. So many.
So
many good ones.
So, anyways, we will see you next week.
Bye.